Hello there, everybody. I'm Afefe with Touched by Tarot and Beyond. Glad to have you here. Welcome back to the channel. Taping this early Friday morning, March 21st. Woo! Glad we made it. Glad to be here. If you're new to the channel, I am a certified tarot reader. I'm also a former newspaper journalist, so I tend to approach my readings kind of factual, try to stay grounded, and I'm also an ordained priestess in Wiccan and African traditions, so got a lot on my plate. Try to use my skills to come and bring you good content. Wow, you all. Thank you for the emails and comments that I got about today. We understand that Muskrat has been invited by Hegseth to the Pentagon to get briefings on plans of any potential plans for war with China. And I was, my inbox started lighting up. Fefe, what is up with that? Okay. Wow. Okay, so we're going to take a look and see, get a glimpse, see if we can get behind the curtain and figure out what's really behind that and what's going on with that. The other thing is, many of you reached out, and I too was disturbed about the executive order that F45 issued this week around segregation, and that government contractors no longer have to provide open facilities. That segregation, I guess, is cool again, right? Woo! Gotta laugh to keep from crying and keep from getting mad. So, but we're going to take a look at that and see, what that, well, we know what that's about, but we'll look at it. Project 2025, this whole trying to appease the base, keep the base ginned up despite all of these things that are about to happen to hurt the red states and the MAGA faithful. But okay, we're going to take a look at that. And then depending on the time, I want to keep this short. Tim Walz has really made a strong presence and after a period of silence after the election has really, he's doing the town halls and people are turning out in droves. We also know, as a side note, not reading on this, but continued applause to our guy Bernie Sanders and AOC. They apparently did something in Nevada, I think yesterday, and it turned out so large that they had to change the venue, right? So to accommodate the people. Yes. People's voices, and as much as we have to dig deep and search for, proof that people are mobilizing, that there is a pushback, that we can't give up, that we are stronger together. We have to go and find that information sometimes, but it is there, and people are mobilized, you all. So please, we got to stay strong, hold the line, as we say, hold the line. All right. Okay. So the first thing, oh, and before I forget, I've been forgetting to announce this, is if you don't know, I do host a private Zoom meeting the first Friday of every month called Spiritual Politics. It's where we can gather. I don't do it on YouTube because you never know, people may try to come in and disrupt. It's wide open. So doing it on a private Zoom, people have to register. It's a safe space for people to come together, talk about concerns, talk about meetings and organizations and things that are happening. And we also keep a little spiritual bent in there. I had some people say you wanted even more spirituality. So maybe we'll do, talk about, I'll bring some of my woo-woo into the mix, and we'll talk about things that you can do in terms of protection, in terms of protecting your home, your space, things like that. But would love to have you there. Check it out. It is on a donation-based process when you register. Give what you can, but I wanted to make it so that anybody, regardless of what your circumstances are, that you can feel, included. All right. So check the description box below for how to register for that. It's going to be on Friday, April 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'd love to have you there. All right, you all. So let's go in. This, Hegseth inviting Muskrat to the Pentagon for top secret talks. And of course they came out and denied it. That's not what we're doing. This is just an informal come in and talk to some people. Okay. Like we said, let's check out and ask Spirit, please show us what is the reason for Muskrat to go to the Pentagon and sit in on talks around any potential war plans with China? What is the reason? What is the truth? Why is Muskrat going to the Pentagon today to sit in on talks, top secret talks around China? We have the Queen of Pentacles. You know, it's interesting. I've been getting feminine energy in those positions a lot. I don't know who might be, if this is a female, I don't know who would be involved in that. But I am, for some reason, Pam Bondi, even though she's not, DOJ, but there's something there where Spirit did she go to Hegseth and tell him bring him in? Or did they have a conversation around that? The Knight of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. Got it. Okay. Hegseth got the word to invite him. And I think that came from, I'm not sure if it's Bondi, but it feels like it came from a woman. It could have even been Susie Wiles, but there's somebody in the administration who had his ear, who had Hegseth's ear, and said, you need to bring him in because this is about funding. This is about the money, and it's about plans for how, am I holding that up upside down? No, it's about plans for how the money is going to be used. Remembering as well that part of Doge's scope of identifying where cuts could be made did include or does include the Pentagon. From what I understand, one of the things specifically was cutting back on, F45 jets and things like that. So there's that aspect. There's something here where they want to keep him, Muskrat, involved. Page of Swords. Want to keep him involved in the loop, so that he and his Doge goons, I don't know if it's hands-off judgment. They have been given the word that they want hands-off as much as possible. They're meaning the Trump administration has given Hegseth the word. We want to make sure that we keep Muskrat happy. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we keep you all happy. We don't want those deep cuts in the Pentagon. Spirit, does this have anything to do with Starlink and Muskrat making money off of Starlink? We have the Three of Swords. Because of Tesla. Whoa. Okay. Remember, he's losing money. He's been losing money hand over fist with Tesla stock and sales of the cars tanking, right? But I can't ignore this, and I'm using the Godfather deck, by the way. If someone that notice, one of the key words on there is betrayal. Spirit, is Muskrat going to use this information he gets today and betray the secrets in some way? The Emperor. Whoa. Whoa, y'all. Because, wow, this is getting deep. Spirit's been saying for a while, now I'm not the only reader who has said this, the clock is ticking on how long Muskrat and F45 remain like that, right? Something is going to give. Usually I get this card, the Emperor, in regards to F45. But what this is saying is there's almost, Muskrat is starting to get so powerful in terms of like who's really, no longer co-president, but like I'm top dog. That's the heartbreak. That's the betrayal. It's not, I'm not getting, you all, I want to be clear. I'm not getting that he would use this information, at least not in the foreseeable future. He would use the information that he'll get about, from the Pentagon to like sell the secrets to China, to Russia or something like that. Not taking that off the table for entertainment purposes only, right? but it's more about him, Muskrat, using this influence that he's going to gain over Hegseth, over the influence in the Pentagon to betray and overtake F45. Ooh, that's going to get ugly. All right. We have the Wheel of Fortune, money, and him building his fortunes, making moves to build his fortunes through SpaceX and Starlink, tying them in somehow, because we know he's got a ton, billions in Pentagon funding contracts. He sees this as a business opportunity, especially, again, Spirit is reminding me, in light of Tesla's tanking. Wow. Spirit, what else can you show me around Muskrat's involvement in this Pentagon meeting? 6 of Pentacles. This is about the money. So what we're getting is, to the extent that this looked like there was something more serious leaning towards a potential war with China, because remember too, tariffs. Is this in response to the Tower? Here we go. Here we go. Okay, we can put 2 and 2 together and get 4. Or maybe you all are like, all right, Fefe, that's why we're watching you. Let's do that. Let's do the math. Let's make sure the math is mathing. All right, the Tower, you all. To the extent that F45 is planning to continue to up the ante with tariffs against China, China, of course, is going to do its thing. It's going to come back. And so they are bringing in, because remember, it's all about breaking things, right? Break things and see where they land. They don't want Doge breaking the Pentagon, right? Everything, all these other agencies that they've been going through and causing and wreaking havoc, they're like, can't do that here right now, because the plan with these tariffs, we have got to be on our P's and Q's as it relates to China. And we need you, Muskrat, on board with that. You can't come in here and just completely tear down and break things here. We need things, we need a plan. And so we need you on board with that. We need your support. The flip side of that is by giving him that influence, continued influence, growing influence in the Pentagon. 7, and look at the target. Ooh, this Godfather Tarot does not play. Pentacles again, 7 of Pentacles. Because he is going to be more involved in what those tariffs are, how they are implemented. And what's going to motivate him is somehow, you all, this ties into the money and the contracts that he has through the Pentagon. And he's going to try and make sure that using this information is going to be his self-interest. Right? No surprise there. But we're just getting confirmation. And if you've been with me before, you know when I get my aces, that's my guides telling me I'm on track. And we have the Ace of Swords. So yes, that's what the motivation behind this is. Somebody told Hegseth, you got to get, before Doge goes in and starts doing some crazy stuff in the Pentagon, you got to get Muskrat more involved. You got to bring him in, make him a part of the team so that he'll be more hands-off. From Muskrat's side of things, that's cool because I'm already making billions. I'm losing billions on this end with Tesla. So I'm going to figure out how to put my fingerprints all over whatever you all have and use that information to my advantage, which long term is going to build up the tension between him and F45, because this now we're dealing with the Pentagon, y'all. We're dealing with, top international plans and war plans and information that he's being given access to. That is what you do with a president, right? It's coming. Don't know when, but that bridge is going to break, and I think that tower had a couple of different meanings there. All right, you all. So that's what I get behind it. It's business. It's business as usual. But for him, it's for Muskrat. It's also how do I utilize this information and use it as leverage to get more for myself, right? Dang. All right, you all. Moving on. Segregation. So we get an executive order from F45 that says federal contractors, don't worry about it. You don't want people using the same bathrooms. You don't want to provide access to certain facilities to everybody. Have at it. Be my guest. I'm going to ask, and I didn't get specific questions from people. People were more like, emails and things like, did you see this? And like, take a look at it. What's that really all about? So let's do that. Spirit, what is the real fallout or motivation behind that? The hangman. Ooh, I really don't like, I don't like that imagery. That takes me back places, right? That's a little triggering when we think about segregation, when we think about Jim Crow, when we think about some of the really ugly racial history in this country. We have the 10 of swords. No, I'm sorry, 10 of cups. I have to remember the colors in this deck because it doesn't tell you what it is. 10 of cups. There's this was a head game by him. It was another attempt by F45 to take away people's sense of safety, because 10 of Cups is a very warm, loving, family-oriented, domestic, you're safe, you're safe with your people. It's to take away that sense of dignity, that sense of safety. We saw the things about the websites where Jackie Robinson's page, which I understand is now being brought back in, and the devil. Absolutely. You all, this was completely meant to instill fear, to trigger people, to make people feel less safe. What is the actual... Okay, so that was the motivation. What is the fallout from this, Spirit? Will there be actual segregated facilities again? Are people going to take this, contractors take this and go with it? We have the 6 of Swords. No. I think in large part, people who get government or outfits, companies that get government contracts, in certain places where you have people who are who are racist, let's just call it what it is, you can have the threat of, I could do this if I wanted to. I have clearance to put it, you can't use this bathroom, you can't use this facility, you can't come to the club. I could do it if I wanted to. The King of Pentacles, exactly. I could do it if I wanted to. But I don't know that I will. Death. And what's interesting? In this King of Pentacles, I'm noticing him with the finger to the head. Like, think about it. Think about it. Government contractors. So say whatever area that is that they're working in, if they begin to polarize people and trigger people by actually trying to implement racist segregation policies, it could very well, their business tanks. They become the new Tesla. basically. Page of Swords, a lot of talk about it, a lot of threats, a lot of, again, just trying to get in people's heads. But I'm not seeing this, you all. First of all, I'm not getting energy around in the world exactly. This is a nothing burger. This was another attempt to, well, I'm not going to say a nothing burger. Spirit's correcting me on that. It is serious, and I don't want to downplay that. Just the sentiment behind it, right? And we know that it was playing to his base. The Steve Millers of the world, who, yeah, like makes no bones, you know, about the racist edicts. Yeah, the world feels like it will, and then we have the Seven of Cups, and I love the imagery on here. Stop. That's the sign that I'm brought to. Stop. I do not see this, just as they did all of the, they took down a lot of those pages, the Native American code talkers, the Jackie Robinson, like all of these really hateful and blatantly racist things that they've done. And then some of that they're having to go back and course correct and put the information back up. I'm not saying that I think he's going to course correct and say, oops, I really didn't mean it when I wrote that or when I signed that order. Yeah, he meant it. He doggone well meant it. But the implementation or the fallout from it, you all, I'm not getting that. And the Hermit, people, this is about business. When you get the Hermit Virgo energy, it's about business. And so you're talking about contractors who are going to rely on a large part of their workforce who could be impacted by this, which thereby might mean they're not doing their jobs. They leave their jobs. They refuse to work. Protests. It's not worth the hassle. I will be really shocked. And based on what I'm getting from Spirit, you all, I just don't see it gaining traction in terms of becoming actual policies in the workplace. But the talk about it, the threat of it, the cloud hanging over our head, the triggering that it causes, yeah, very, very deliberate, and very much a real thing, you all. But again, let's stay strong. We are stronger together, all right? And finally, I'm going to look really, really quick, 22 minutes in. I try to keep my recordings pretty short. Tim Walz, is he going to run, point blank period, is his reemergence because he's going to run in 2028? Is Tim Walz positioning himself? The moon, he's taking a look at it. Not sure about it. But he is taking a look at it. And the Knight of Wands, he's taking a really serious look at it. And that is awesome. This is him getting out on the trail on doing these town halls. And showing up on news shows and things like that. We have the Two of Cups. I know many of you have been waiting on me to look at Kamala because she's not done. I have not received guidance that somehow, some way she's back. She's in the White House. But I want to do a separate reading on that. And I don't want to go too long on here. So maybe in the next week or so. Because this Two of Cups makes me wonder if it's about him and her again. But if he runs for president, she's not going to, she's not going to be on the ticket as VP. So that could be some of the energy we're seeing here. He is thinking about it, though, you all. The moves that we're seeing from Tim Walz, and him emerging as a leader, 100%, we just got confirmation with the sun. But if that happens as well, I also think what this is showing us, you all, and especially with that moon, he has some concerns that he doesn't want to be seen as trying to betray or outshine or outmaneuver Kamala Harris with a potential 2028 run. All right? I hope that makes sense. We'll look more into some of that a little bit later. Okay? All right, you all, I'm going to sign off here. I'll be back probably on Sunday. Chin up. Got to remember, especially, it's heavy. A lot of what we're facing is heavy. Please, if you need some added support and you want to, You want to be in a community that feels safe? Come join me for Spiritual Politics, all right? Again, I'll put a link to how to register in the description box below, all right? Chin up, our shoulders back, and by all means, breathe, right? Deeply. And I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.